Okay, everyone, it's time for part 14 of Varjak Paw. Now, when we left poor Varjak, he'd had a run-in with the notorious Sally Bones, but that wasn't the only danger he'd faced. He'd also at last met a real-life dog, and Varjak's world once more had gone into complete darkness. Let's see if our precious paw can recover from this incident. Off we go to chapter 25. I'm getting sad because look at this. Ugh, we're going to run out of books soon. I'll have to read a different one. Oh, goodness. Chapter 25. Ooh. There are times when it is useful to disappear, said Jalal. Varjak was back in Mesopotamia, where the air smelled like cinnamon and tasted of ripe dates. He smiled. It was good to be back. Whatever happened in the real world, there was always Mesopotamia in his dreams. Jalal stood beside him in the shadow of a wall, and then he was gone. Jalal? Said Varjak. His ancestor had disappeared. Even his scent had gone. Jalal the Paw that I am, said the old cat's voice. But all Varjak could see was a shadow at the base of the wall. Varjak shook his head. Oh, that's impossible. Jalal appeared again right next to Varjak. Nothing is impossible. Maybe it's possible for you, but I'm not you, Jalal. I can't do these things. I can't go invisible or talk to dogs. Believe something is impossible, said his ancestor calmly, and you will surely fail. But believe in yourself, and you can do anything. Oh, I think that's a brilliant message. Varjak thought about pigeon hunting with Holly. She believed it was impossible, but he felt sure they could do it if they could just find the right way. Maybe this was the same, and here was Jalal himself offering to show him the way. Wasn't it worth trying and trying and trying again? He nodded. Teach me, Jalal. Shadow walking is the sixth skill, explained the old cat. To shadow walk, you must let go of yourself. Like when you stalk your prey and you become your prey, but instead here, you become nothing, nothing at all. You join with the shadow, you become one with the air and part of the ground. You let go. Try it. Varjak slunk towards the wall, willing himself to disappear. I'm a shadow, he told himself. No one can see me. I'm invisible. You are thinking too hard, said Jalal. Shadow walking is not done by thinking. Shadows cannot think after all. Think about nothing. Empty your mind of thoughts. Varjak tried to think about nothing, but found himself thinking about nothing. He tried to empty his mind, but his mind was full of images of emptiness. Now you are trying too hard, said Jalal. Perhaps it is too soon. You must know yourself. Be sure of yourself before you can let go of yourself. Do you know who you are? Varjak frowned. What do you mean? Think about it, Varjak Paw. Jalal disappeared into the shadow. Think hard, for your life depends upon it. Chapter 26. Varjak awoke. He was sprawled on the ground in the alley. His shoulders screamed with pain. Holly was gone. The bristly, barking monster towered above him, its foul breath in his face. Its big red tongue lolled out, glistening, hungry. It looked like it was getting ready to eat him. He was wrong to trust his instincts. This creature was worse than a dog. It was the most terrifying monster in the world. He had to do something. Shadow walking, the sixth skill. Think about nothing. Empty your mind of thoughts. Varjak concentrated. Nothing, nothing, nothing. But it wasn't that easy. The pain in his shoulder filled his mind. He couldn't do it. He couldn't shadow walk. Varjak looked up desperately at the narrow brick walls of the alley. It felt as if they were closing in on him. If only he could get to the ledge. He tried to stand up, but it hurt too much. There was no escape now. It was all over. The monster's drooling mouth opened wide. Clutch, it said in a deep, deep voice. Varjak stared, helpless. It blinked those cloudy eyes, then it licked itself once. Clutch, it repeated. Varjak scratched his ears, not quite sure what he was hearing. Is that your name? He said. Clutch. It panted. A shy smile appeared at the corner of its mouth. Clutch, it affirmed. Varjak smiled back. Maybe Clutch wasn't going to eat him after all. Varjak, he said. I'm Varjak. Varjak? Varjak, Varjak. That's right, Clutch, I'm Varjak. Varjak, 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 barked Clutch. You've got it, Varjak. Varjak gingerly shifted his weight onto his front paws. His shoulder twinged, though not as badly as before, and he flopped back onto the ground. And there they are, having their first conversation. Kludge reached down to lick the wounded shoulder. His big black eyes were cloudy with worry. "Sorry, Varjak," he sighed. "Didn't mean to hurt." "That's okay. I should have run like the other cats." "Kludge was scared. Varjak not scared?" "No," he smiled. He was beginning to like this great big creature. Kludge looked fierce, but he seemed gentle inside. "Kludge alone," he sniffed. "Everyone run from Kludge. No friends." Varjak looked into Kludge's eyes again. He could see it all in there. He recognised it, his pain, his fear, his loneliness. "It's all right, Kludge," he said quietly. "You're not alone. We'll be friends, you and me." "Friends?" panted Kludge. "Varjak, Kludge, friends?" Varjak grinned. "Friends," he said. He tried to stand up again. This time his shoulder took the weight. "Friends!" barked Kludge. He wagged his tail. "Varjak, Kludge, friends, friends, friends!" Varjak Paw, said a gravelly voice. "This is a first. I've seen a lot of things in this city. I've even seen you hit Razor, but this is truly something else." Holly jumped down from the wall. "You did it! You talked to a dog!" She shook her head. "It's incredible! It's unbelievable! It's—" "A dog?" said Varjak. Kludge barked. "Yes, a dog," said Holly, keeping a safe distance from Kludge. "What do you think it is?" "But he's not like the other dogs." "What are the dogs?" "You know, the metal ones." Holly looked baffled. "I've never seen a dog like that." In the distance, a monster shrieked and roared. "Those ones," said Varjak. "Those dogs that make that noise." Holly shook her head. "That's not a dog. That's a car." "A what?" "Car," barked Kludge. "Cars are fun. Kludge chase cars." "So they weren't dogs," said Varjak. "Let me get this straight," said Holly. "All the time you thought you were talking to dogs. What you were really doing was talking to cars?" Varjak frowned. He was confused. The metal monsters were dogs. He was sure they were. But had anyone else ever called them dogs? No. Now he thought about it. He'd never known for certain what they were. He just assumed they were dogs because they fitted the Elder Paw's description from the tales. They filled his heart with fear. They had foul breath and a deafening sound. And they looked strong enough to kill a man. But he had to admit it. So did Kludge. Awareness, the second skill. Before you do anything, you must know what you are dealing with. Assume nothing. Be sure of the facts. That was exactly what he'd failed to do. He'd almost killed himself trying to talk to a car. A beginner's mistake. Not the kind of mistake a cat who knew the way would make. He wouldn't make it now, and he was sure Sally Bones wouldn't either. Holly giggled. "What's so funny?" Varjak demanded. She pulled herself together, but only just. "Hugh," she said. "Cars aren't even alive, you moron. You can't talk to a car." "You didn't think I could talk to Kludge either," reasoned Varjak. "Kludge only talk to friends," said the big dog. "See," said Varjak. "Maybe cars only talk to their friends too." Holly couldn't control herself any longer. Her whiskers started to twitch, her body began to shake, and then she cracked up completely. Laughter streamed out of her and flew around the alley like a flock of birds. It was everywhere. It was contagious. Kludge rolled about on the ground, yelping and panting helplessly, and then Varjak found himself laughing too. He couldn't help it. He had to join in with them. It was a good feeling, light and free. He saw it all now. How he'd got it wrong. Of course cats weren't dogs. Kludge was a dog. Kludge was a dog? Varjak stopped laughing. Kludge was a dog. With a dog, he could still save his family from the gentleman and his cats, if only there was time. "Kludge, I need your help. I need you to scare a man. Can you do that?" Kludge stopped yelping and became very serious. He drew himself up to his full height and bared his yellow teeth. Holly's laughter tailed away at the sight. "Kludge scare everyone," the great dog said in a deep voice, "except Varjak." "Then let's go. There's no time to waste." Varjak turned to Holly. "Coming?" "Where?" "Up the hill, the three of us. We're going to save my family." "This is mad," said Holly. "But no one messes with Sally Bones and gets away with it. We're not safe in this city anymore." She stood up. "So all right, Mr. Paw, lead the way. Where you go, I go." Something in Varjak soared at that moment. "Thank you," he said. "My friends." And we'll see what happens in chapter 27 next time.